exudes coolness. And,
Oh my gosh.
and I'm not just saying that because your son's here in studio with it. I really do mean that. Like I see you pop up on everybody's timeline, and you're at this event, that event. You're kind of like the most interesting man in Tucson.
Is it because of my beard?
It's
that
the
you're
beard.
saying
It's
that?
100% the beard. Yeah.
And it's not only that he's at events. Now he's on his mountain bike. So he's popping up all over town with us on our mountain bikes.
Love that. Hey, I do have to interject real quickly. Freaking Ron. I didn't know that you had that in you.
Yeah.
I mean, like, hey, this is your host, Ron Arena. And I'm like, what the heck just happened?
Yeah.
You were like...
He's a man of mystery. Speaking of men of
Yeah.
mystery, yeah, you'd be
okay.
surprised. Sit down with Ron for like an hour and a half and have him tell you his life story. He's done so many things you would have never guessed.
We went to high school together, and I didn't even... I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't know that you had this, like, communications, radio host ability, hidden. When did that come about?
Well,
Maybe you can do that for the listening audience. Maybe people don't know how this phenomenal talent was discovered.
That's true. We haven't ever discussed that.
wow.
Mhm.
Well, we'll probably do that. We'll do that on another show. Yeah, we'll do it, because I don't want to take away from you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
That's
mean,
true.
yeah.
There is a long. It's many pieces of a long story.
There is. There's
Yeah.
many pieces
Mhm.
to it. Yeah,
But
definitely.
That's a
again,
great
my
question, though.
compliments. And I've heard Pastor McLean before, and
Uh-huh.
obviously the man has skills, and you guys are communications, experts.
I
And
appreciate it.
I dabble in the arts a little bit myself,
Right.
but I never knew that you could communicate this way, and that you had that.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a little bit of both.
let me tell you, I have a great deal of respect for you for your entrepreneurial skills,
Yeah.
Well,
for
thank
your
you.
cycling abilities,
Mhm.
and again, we've been friends sporadically here and there, but nonetheless, this is new to me, so
Okay.
I'm impressed.
Well,
I
thank you.
love it, and
Yeah.
I say that sincerely. I'm not just trying to flatter you because I'm on your show.
Hey, he'll take that. He will so take that.
I mean it. I mean it. I think that certain people have that. What is it, son? What do they call it now? Riz or what do
Oh
they call
yeah.
it?
No, well, Riz is something different.
Like
Riz,
charisma.
Riz,
Oh.
he definitely has charisma, but Riz particularly is in reference to being able to pick up women.
Oh, is
If
it?
I'm
Is it
not
really?
incorrect,
Oh.
Sadie, you're kind of like the professional on that thing here.
Sadie
that-
says yes.
Yeah.
So not that Riz then, but the charisma then.
Does Riz mean is it just short for charisma? Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know
Yeah.
what you do with picking up women. I have nothing to do with that, and frankly, I don't want to.
But definitely, Ron has plenty of charisma. That's for sure.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
But
No, no.
with anything else, it just takes a lot of practice.
Mhm.
Well, when did you freaking practice? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you keep trying to go that story. Let's talk about Mueva Flex.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's
Tell us
do
about
it.
Mueva
Let's
Flex.
do it.
Yeah.
So tell us about your business. How long you've been in business? What is your business?
Well, the story for me is also long, and I'll kind of abbreviate it by getting to the point. I was a practicing chiropractor for a little bit over 20 years,
Oh,
and
okay.
loved that. It was phenomenal. Lots of changes. The pandemic was one of them. Lots of closures, and many people mentioned things to the effect of the cracking and popping was it made them a little bit feel better, no
Uh-huh.
doubt. And again, I love my chiropractor colleagues that are practicing hard, and I love it. Nonetheless, I was never the kind of chiropractor that would just have people come in, crack, snap, and get out. Next, come
Okay.
in, crack, pop. Next, I would always do more somewhat intuitive, but definitely more palpative and more of a slower movement as opposed to the low amplitude, high velocity cracking and popping.
Okay.
And after the closures and after many other lessons that I really don't want to get into right now, lots of very, very important life lessons and changes and painful learning experiences, had to transition from chiropractic to something else.
Okay.
I dabbled in a few other businesses, loved that too, very profitable. But in addition to some real estate investments, I was getting calls all the time. Bernal, can you help me out? Bernal, I'm like, hey, look, I'll send you to my buddy so-and-so. And I was referring people out to different providers. Nonetheless, I came across a stretch clinic that opened up here in Tucson.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I went and experienced it for myself. It sounded very good. And a lot of the movements were a lot of the same systems that I would use when I was a chiropractor, minus the cracking and popping or the adjustments. And so I asked the guy, I said, hey, are you a massage therapist? What did you do to become a stretch therapist? And he said, no, I'm not a massage therapist. I used to be a personal trainer, so I've worked with people all the time, so I do this. Okay, got it, perfect. Went into another session, and another stretch therapist did something very similar to my neck, to what I would do to my clients right before or right after the adjustment. And I said, hey, this feels pretty good, man. And I kind of actually heard something pop in there. Are you a chiropractor or what? They said, no, sometimes things pop when you move things. And I said, well, what's your licensing, or what do you how did you get to this?
Yeah.
And they told me, well, I got really intrigued by the stretch therapy back east, blah, 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 blah. They told me that they were going to open up something here in Arizona. So I was interested. So I came out here and I said, wow, that's pretty cool. The more I looked, the more I said, I think I should do this. And I started with a buddy of mine, and I asked him, I said, can you do some research for me? I'm thinking about opening up a stretch clinic. And he said, yeah, I'll do some market, whatever. I'm not sure what they call it. They do some logistical market stuff to see if the market is primed.
Like an analysis?
Like a market analysis to
Yeah.
see if it would be wise to do such a thing. And he told me after about a couple of weeks, he said, hey, look, after my brief research, it turns out that not only is Stretch Med here in town, but there's a stretch zone that is opening up already, and Stretch Lab is opening up 2 different locations.
Right.
So he said, if these national franchises are opening up in Tucson, then my job to do your research analysis is done, because they've already done it. That means that this is a perfect market. He said, the only challenge for you is you would need a location, you would need the equipment, the therapy tables, and you would need some training so you can learn how to stretch people. And I said, well, just so happens to be that I have a clinic location that is not operational because I'm no longer doing chiropractic. And I still have my therapy tables.
Right.
And I've got extensive training in not just, chiropractic, but I was a certified sports physician. I did my training as a licensed acupuncturist, youth specialist certified as well. So I had all these abilities already to stretch. I just was focusing more on the adjustments because that's what the insurances would pay for. And so I said, so I have all these things, and I won't say the explicit vocabulary that my friend told me, but he said, well, Bernal, if you don't open up this stretch clinic now, you're a beep, 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 beep.
Okay.
So I said, okay.
Go ahead and say it. We'll blur it out.
So I said, say no more. We'll get this thing opened up. So we did. That's how Mueve Flex was born. And we've been open now for a little bit over a year. We've seen, I think, over 1,000 clients already. We have over 100 5-star reviews on Google. So thank you to everybody that's been supporting us and that's been receiving our services. And we were voted Tucson's best stretch clinic by the Arizona Daily Star last year.
Oh,
too.
nice. Okay.
So I'm super excited. That's what kind of our business is about. And what we're doing is we're helping people move better and feel better. People often have stiffness, aches and pains, and they're concerned about going to the doctor, or sometimes they're hesitant about going to a massage therapist. They're nervous. At our clinic, when people get a stretch, there's no need to remove your clothing. The most you remove is your shoes. And sometimes professionals are in a hurry. They say, I don't have 90 minutes to sit in there with the incense and candles. And I tell them, there's nothing wrong with that. You need that sometimes. But our place, our sessions are typically 25 minutes long. Obviously, some people need more. The first session is usually an hour. But that's what we do. We help people with assisted stretching to move better and feel better.
All right. Perfect. Well, we're going to have you on for the second segment of the show, but right now we're talking with Dr. Jesus Bernal. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Tucson Pack and Ship, Crest Insurance, Tucson Tamale, and Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. We'll be back in a couple minutes. And welcome back to The Guys Next Door. We're speaking today with Dr. Bernal from Mueve Flex. How you doing?
Doing terrific. Thank you. I'm happy to be here. You guys are freaking cool. You make it sound you just flow.
This is us. This is us just having coffee and conversation.
Yeah,
minus the coffee.
pretty much. It's just a conversation between friends is what it is. We're just not on a mountain bike right now.
There you go. Yeah, that's cool.
I'm guessing we're probably talking a lot more now than on the mountain bike, or how does that work? Do you guys talk when you guys are on mountain bikes together?
We talk when we take breaks, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like real kind of short little stints. Like
Yeah.
it kind of I would think it would be like in basketball, like where in between games
Mm-hmm.
we kind of like talk for about 3 minutes and
Yeah.
then we get back to killing
Back to what
ourselves.
you're doing. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. We talk a little bit before the ride, make sure everybody's good, and we just mention a couple of topics.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's
And-
almost like a little networking group.
Yeah, it
You
is.
know,
It
and a
is.
lot of times it's people from the different chambers
Mm.
that we're all, just getting together.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That is true because everybody that was there are people that we've networked
That we
with.
network with, yeah.
Mm.
And just so happens that 3 of us went to high school together.
That's cool. I love that. That
That's
makes me
interesting.
super happy.
Yeah.
There's so much tie-in with that in our podcast that we did earlier, where
Yeah.
we were talking, and in this, and it definitely would be nice with your input, and this will be a good segue to kind of what we want to discuss, where, how important is networking to the growth of your business, and how amazing it was you learning that part, kind of moving forward, because there's so many people who don't know about that, particularly in reference, like you are the person in Tucson who taught me about the stretch movement. Like I really didn't know about it whatsoever. Like it's still brand new to me. I still feel like we have so much to learn.
Yes.
Mhm.
But you kind of how's networking played a part in your life, and particularly spreading the word about Mueve Flex and the different work that you guys do.
Well, I think it's played a huge role. Number one, I'm a firm believer, and I tell people all the time that your net worth is directly related to your network. And I teach my kids, the more contacts, the more contracts.
Yeah.
So we
You
talk
got
about
lines, all right, bars. Your dad's got bars, all right.
yeah, all the time. And so that's really, really important. But I think that if you're able to do something like what we did mountain biking
Mhm.
or a few other events that we've done where you don't go necessarily just to network and, hey, give me your card. Where's your card?
Right.
What kind of referral are you looking for? And here's the referral that I'm looking for.
Mhm.
But just be natural, be yourself. Be
Yeah.
with people that do the things that you enjoy doing.
Mhm.
That's awesome. So how has it played a role? In an incredible way. Why? Because I like to do things and go to places where people are going to be health conscious. They want to be physically fit and active. They care about their appearance. They care about their longevity. They want to be well. And so those people are 99% of the time my clients.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so it works out really well.
It does.
I loved
yeah.
it.
Yeah. So you're finding people with similar interests and you're hanging out with them.
That's it.
Yeah.
Exactly. I
Yeah,
love
and
I
then
see, I think
relationship
that's the line,
building.
Ron. You're finding people with similar interests and you're hanging out with them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Yeah.
That's cool. So that kind of in transition to Mueve Flex and just the stretch movement. I mean, fill me in. Like until I met you, I mean, it's almost like a light bulb went on. It's like, oh yeah, I've been seeing those popping up all over the place lately. It seems, especially in my travels, but it seems as new as this range of holistic medicine that's coming on, that I'm like hyperbaric oxygen treatment, etc. Things that like I participate with and I definitely wholly believe in, but like most of the John Q public, I have no understanding of whatsoever, so therefore I'm afraid of.
Yes. And I'm glad you said that because starting anything new can be daunting.
Sure.
We make it easy at Mueve Flex. And it's so awesome to hear that, you heard about the stretch movement through me and then you started noticing it everywhere. Because, yes, it's been exploding. There's a lot of gyms that offer it now. My son and I were at a gym in Phoenix when we were there for a fancy party and we wanted to get a workout in before the party. And at the gym, they said, oh, with your new membership, even though we just bought a day pass, with your new membership, you have an assessment for our stretch therapist or whatever.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, that's freaking awesome. I love that. And that's something that I experienced when I was doing chiropractic in the past, because a lot of people were either leery, hesitant, or just unaware about the benefits of chiropractic. Well, the thing about stretch therapy and why I believe it's just blowing up and growing like a weed everywhere is because unlike some of those things like the hyperbaric chambers or the cold plunges or things like that, which are super good for you, we do them ourselves. We participate in that too. However, none of us here can, with a straight face and honestly say, "Oh yeah, I do the cold plunges and I love it. It's great." And again, by the way,
I hate the chamber. Yeah, I hate the oxygen chamber. I'll be honest.
And I love the people at Tucson Cold Plunge. I love you guys, nonetheless. And again, I think it's important, necessary, and very beneficial. However, stretch therapy. There's nobody that can tell you, at least not at our clinic, where they can say, "Yeah, well, I would do the stretch, but man, it's so painful," or "Man, it's so uncomfortable." If anything, that's one of my main rules at Muevaflex, and why I say we make it easy is because we have a ground non-negotiable rule that says nothing that we do to you should feel painful. Nothing that we do to you should feel uncomfortable. No pain, no discomfort. And so if you have all the benefits of stretch therapy, like improved circulation, improved flexibility, decreased pain, injury prevention, just the idea of so many benefits, and it feels good, my gosh, it's like eating a health food. It's like if kale tasted like ice cream.
Right.
And
then
so,
everyone would be eating it.
yeah, and so that's why everybody's doing stretch now. And you asked Pastor McLean about, like, where do I see it going? What's happening? There's a bunch of research happening. One of my favorite researchers is a young lady from Stanford University, and what she's finding out is that there's these hope molecules. And hope molecules, she calls them that because what it is if a muscle is not contracting or moving, because usually joint pain, stiffness, whatever, or an old injury, stress, tension, fear, anxiety, what happens is you're not releasing these molecules, endorphins and kephalins, whereas if you move a muscle, if you stretch a joint past what it normally moves safely, which is what we do with stretching, now you get these molecules that decrease depression, reduce anxiety. You have these molecules that your body makes that naturally decrease pain, that improve the immune function. So that means that you're going to have less infections, less conditions. Now, again, the research is still underway. There's still a lot of research that's, being done. But if you think about it, it's like when your buddy gives you a pat on the back, or when your mom or your grandmother used to tell you, "Oh, it's okay, there," and she would rub on you and just kind of move you around. There's science to that, and now it's being proven thanks to the explosion of assisted stretch therapy, like what we do at Muevaflex.
Beautiful. So we understand that Muevaflex caters to diverse clientele, from athletes to professionals seeking natural health solutions. Can you share some success stories for listeners?
Absolutely, Ron. You'll love this one.
All right.
We have an HVAC technician
okay.
that came in.
You're speaking his language.
Yes,
Okay,
and
go on.
this guy had been doing HVAC and air conditioning work for, I think, 15 years.
Yeah, so
And
he's all beat up.
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
Not only was he beat up, but that's his life. That's
how he
his,
makes money and supports his family.
And so he literally was like distraught, saying, "Oh my gosh, Dr. Bernal, am I going to have to switch careers? And what's going to happen?" In all seriousness, and I have to be very, very blunt in this, there were several times during my encounters with this gentleman during the stretch sessions where I thought, "Oh my gosh, we're going to have to send this guy out." The pain was so severe.
Oh, wow.
Could not even stand up straight, could not lift up his toolbox. So, of course, he had to miss work. He was starting to worry about how he's going to raise, or support his family, his wife, his kid. But I told him, just hang in there. Let's see what we can do. If at any point, I told him, we feel that what we're doing is not helping or it's not benefiting you, we'll immediately send you out so you can get the MRI or whatever. Because he was like, should I just go get an injection? Maybe I just need to get steroids or something. I said, that's a possibility, but let's get through this first.
Right.
Again, not everybody. I'm not telling you that everybody that comes in with herniated discs, which is what, he was having symptoms of, that we can help them with stretch therapy. We have helped a lot of people with that, but we can't help everybody with herniated discs. We don't even treat any specific conditions. When we do assisted stretch therapy, our main goal is to help people move better and feel better. And luckily, we were able to help him out. He's back to work, has not missed a single day of work since we helped him. And now he comes in just for regular monthly checkups. Yeah. That's a success story.
That is.
I love.
Nice.
That is. Not only did you make him feel better, but he can support his family now.
Absolutely. And he told us too, he said, "Oh my gosh, I thought maybe 4 weeks was going to be too long because I hadn't gotten an appointment reminder, but I got it this week. Thank you, Doc." So now he's like happy. He's in a preventative mindset as opposed to a, reactive, painful, putting out a fire mindset. And assisted stretch therapy is a perfect tool for that.
Okay.
Well, we have a couple minutes until we have to cycle out of here, cycle home.
I like it.
But, and I'm a little jealous because I know Ron probably knows the answer to this question I'm going to ask, but I don't know the answer, so I'm going to ask it. Do you have like a pre or post bicycling stretch routine that you do?
I had to confess, sometimes, we as therapists aren't as diligent with ourselves and self-care as we should be. Now, to be very clear, absolutely, after that cycling session, I had a full stretch therapy session myself. Phenomenally, I felt way better. There's a lot of things that you can't do yourself. I would always recommend to my clients and anybody that's doing any activity, any sport, always do a proper warm-up and a proper cool down.
Okay.
And that just includes doing regular movements, dynamic stretching that you would normally do during that activity, like maybe lay on your back, pedal, maybe just kind of do some twisting, bend forward, some like sun salute type movements. And that would help, again, as a warm-up and a cool down. However,
Nice.
there are certain things that you can't stretch yourself. I'm an assisted stretch therapist,
Right.
certified, and I can't stretch myself in certain ways.
Nice.
Because you need that extra pressure, right?
You need that extra pressure. You need that outside looking in perspective.
Yeah. So how do people get a hold of you?
Mueveflex.com or 520-377-BACK. 377 BACK or 520-377-2225.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Ron, I love being here. Thank you, Pastor McLean. You guys are
No.
freaking incredible. I loved it.
Yeah, we got to do this
Well,
more.
thank
We'll
you.
definitely
Yeah.
do this again.
We'll have
soon.
you on again.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so thank you for our sponsors again, Tucson Pack and Ship, Crest Insurance, Tucson Tamale, and Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Absolutely. And if you want to find out more information about the Guys Next Door or the other parts of what we do, and remember, the Guys Next Door, Common Good, everything we do, it goes back to Veteran Rescue Mission. Go to veteranrescuemission.org. You'll find out more information about the shows as well as the work we do to locate homeless veterans and connect them with housing. So definitely check that out. Also go to the YouTube page, the Facebook page, the whatever page for the Guys Next Door, and check out all the cool stuff we do. But Dr. Burnell, I want you to think of something. I need the answer for this the next time I see you.
Okay.
Okay. And remember, the question is, how many lows, let's say in like a day, a day, could Rob Lowe rob if Rob Lowe could rob Lowe's?
I'll
You
work
think
on
about
that.
it. Think
That's
about
my
it. Get back to
homework,
me.
yeah.
We'll see you next week on the Guys Next Door.